At around March 2018, Sharon Otieno called her then boyfriend, Honorable Okoth Obado, the governor for Migori County. She just informed him that she just found out that she was pregnant. This would mark the beginning of a dark cloud in their relationship, since the governor ceased to respond to Sharon's calls and messages. After she pushed her to reach out to him, the man offered her 30,000 Kenyan shillings for her to terminate the pregnancy. However, Sharon, feeling betrayed, she made efforts that would eventually push the governor to a dark corner, and he had to do the worst, just to break himself loose from the chains. Hello and welcome back. On today's podcast of Murder Chronicles, I will take you through a tragic story of Sharon Otieno, a 26-year-old university student who died in the hands of her sugar daddy after she got pregnant for him, only for him to not approve of the pregnancy, making moves of even asking her to end the pregnancy. Out of desperation and being caught up in the cycle of stopping to feel like that important woman he once made her feel like, to a worthless person who was disgusting the governor with the news of unwanted pregnancy, Sharon made a plan she would later regret. She started making very expensive demands from the governor, threatening to expose the affair if he did not meet the demands. Would you like to know a little history about Sharon Otieno? I believe that you do. Sharon Otieno was born in the year 1992. She had 3 siblings and was the oldest of them. His father was Zachary Douglas and his mother Melinda Auma. Sharon attended the Rangwe Quality School for her primary school education and graduated in the year 2007. In the year 2008, she joined Ogande Girls High School for her secondary school education. She later graduated in the year 2011 and attained a C-. Rather than furthering her education, Sharon got into a relationship with a high school teacher, Bernard Okuta, and ended up having 2 kids with him, both daughters. Unfortunately, their relationship came to an end. A few years later, Sharon gave an attempt on love for the second time. She got into a relationship with a man called Henry and ended up having a 3rd child with him. The relationship also came to an end. Sharon, feeling frustrated with love, she went back to her parents' home. From there, she was determined to continue supporting her kids. She engaged into business of selling second-hand clothes, which was based at Rodi Kopani, Homa Bay County. Sharon, being a person with focus and with support from her parent, decided to go back to school. In January 2017, she enrolled at Rongo University, pursuing a diploma in medical records and information. After the August 2017 elections, fate brought the path of Sharon and that of Okoth Obado to a crossing point. The governor was freshly elected, and in November 2017, that's when Sharon reached out to him via text messages. Okoth responded to her, and the two set a meeting date at Migori. However, with the governor's tight schedule, he did not manage to see her that day, but he made it up to her and met her the next day at the Intercontinental Hotel, Nairobi City. From that day, the two found themselves caught up in a romantic entanglement that lasted for 6 months. Sharon's lifestyle had changed into a lavish one, visiting expensive hotels such as the Imperial Hotel in Kisumu, throwing expensive parties with her friends which were all being funded by the governor. The two would frequently meet for dates in Kisumu and Nairobi. Their lives were smooth and running until when she finally broke the news of her pregnancy to the governor. After that report, the governor began to disconnect from Sharon to a point of wanting her to end the pregnancy. Despite Sharon's efforts of sending photos of her bulging tummy and the ultrasound images, the governor continued to ignore her until she slowly began to fall into a pool of desperation. Due to her need for his attention and financial support, Sharon started to reach out to the governor's friends, workmates, and even his family members, all in attempt to get his attention. Sharon had once sent an ultrasound image to Okoth Obado's son, saying, quote, "I am carrying your brother, here is a photo, and give it to your mother," end of quote. Sharon's message intensified, and this forced the governor to come out clean. He confessed to his family of having an affair with Sharon and that she was already pregnant for him. One day, Sharon had gone to a given hotel in Kisumu. While there, by pure fate, she met with a member of County Assembly, Kanyidoto Ward, Homa Bay County, Honorable Lawrence Muller. The two had never met before, but Sharon knew him. After introducing herself, she then asked for 5,000 Kenyan shillings from the MCA. Muller did not have the money with him, but promised to give her the next day. They met the next day at the Grasa Hotel, where he gave her 1,500 Kenyan shillings. During that day's meeting, Sharon asked Muller if he knew of any journalist because she intended to expose her affair with the governor, citing that she could not bear the negligence the governor was showing since she got pregnant. Muller gave Sharon some contact belonging to Barack Oduor, who is a member of the Nation Media Group. According to Barack Oduor's state of events, Sharon texted him a few days later, requesting him for a meeting. They arranged for a meeting, which he held together with Sharon and Honorable Lawrence Muller. In that meeting, Sharon exposed the details of her affair with Governor Obado, showing them some of the romantic messages they once shared. She wanted the journalist to write an article exposing the governor for impregnating her and then abandoning her. Barack Oduor had questioned Sharon of the last time she received financial support from the governor, and upon hearing that she had received 100,000 Kenyan shillings from him just 3 weeks ago, the journalist was shocked. According to Sharon, the amount was too little, depending on the amount he used to give her right before she got pregnant. Barack Oduor stated that he was surprised to receive a call while in that meeting with Sharon. It was from Governor Obado. There were speculations that a staff member at the Grasa Hotel must have informed Obado about Sharon's meeting with the journalist, since the staff already knew her because she and the governor frequently visited the hotel. After Barack picked the call, Governor Obado requested him together with Honorable Muller to rather go and meet him so that they could settle the matter before he could take a step to publish such a story. Barack spoke with Muller privately, and so he and Muller went to meet Governor without Sharon. They met him at his Rapogi home. Barack Oduor admits to the governor that his intention was first to publish his affair with Sharon, but later he said to the governor that, after all, he did not have the intentions or desire to tarnish his reputation, if only the governor could find a way to settle his dispute with Sharon amicably. So, Lawrence Muller was sent over to listen to Sharon's first demands. She wanted the governor to buy a 35 million mansion in Westland, which he declined. After further negotiation, she was to settle for a house worth 25 million Kenyan shillings in Nairobi, a car presentable enough for a governor's wife, and an upkeep of 5 million. Obado declined for the second time. Muller did not get tired of the negotiation, and after much efforts, Sharon was ready for a cheaper plot of land in Homa Bay. The governor did not agree to the demand. Rather, he suggested to buy a more cheaper piece of land, build her a 3-bedroom house to live in. He estimated to spend only 4 million Kenyan shillings. The governor pleaded with Muller to sell the idea to Sharon, which he did, and Sharon was ready to settle for that, only on conditions that the house should be fully furnished. During that time, Governor Obado had given Mula 80,000 Kenyan shillings to give it to Sharon for her upkeep. The governor had agreed to her condition and was set to finish the house on August 2018. Sharon had further added to more demands of 280,000 prenatal clinic money that she attended at the Nairobi hospital. Sharon could fly from Kisumu to Nairobi for this appointment. The governor did not manage to pay the money in a single installment, but rather paid it in two within a period of 2 weeks. Just for clarification reasons, Mula was actively engaged in these matters of the romantic drama since he was getting paid. After receiving the antenatal money, which had been delivered to Sharon by Governor Obado's personal assistant, Oyamo Michael, only a week went by and Sharon began to behave abnormally. Her mother reported that Sharon told her that she was no longer feeling safe and that she wanted to flee to Tanzania. She went to Tanzania, Mwanza by road, and during her stay there, her phone was off, preventing from being reached out. She returned after a week and revealed to her mother that she was receiving threats of wanting her to abort the baby. Sharon continued to engage Governor Obado's office on demand for him to honor his words. Out of these efforts, on 3rd September 2018, she received a call from the governor's personal assistant, Michael Oyamo. The PA wanted her to meet him at Rongo town later that evening. Her mother had advised her against going alone to meet the PA, and so she requested journalist Barack Oduo to accompany her, which he accepted. Oyamo did not like the idea of them coming together, but she insisted, and so they were to meet at Grasa Hotel in Rongo town. The two arrived at the hotel and waited for almost an hour before Michael Oyamo finally arrived at around 7:30. Shortly, the three left the hotel and Oyamo led them to a Toyota field taxi parked outside Grasa Hotel. After getting into the car, the taxi driver told the police that he only drove for about 300 meters before he was ordered to pull over at a gas station. Michael Oyamo alighted and quickly 3 men got into the car and sandwiched Sharon and Barack Oduo. The 3 men instructed the driver to drive to Kisumu. He felt helpless since they were armed. During the journey, they ordered Barack to switch off his phone, and they continued to harass him together with Sharon. By the grace of God, when the car got to Nyangweso Shopping Center, Oduo took his chances and opened the door and jumped out of the moving car, running off. 2 of the captors ran out of the car and tried to catch up with him, but he managed to flee the scene. He ran to the house of a man, Kennedy Kasera. In his statement, Mr. Kasera said that it was around 8:30 p.m. when Oduo came screaming to his house, looking dumbstruck with bleeding hands and knees. He explained the ordeal. He and Sharon had met after meeting with Governor's PA Michael Oyamo. Mr. Kasera took Barack Oduo to Kadeo police station to report the kidnapping. Sadly for Sharon, her fate was a bad one. According to the details of the taxi driver, at around 10 p.m., they got to a place with a thick forest in Sondu area. He was instructed by the 3 men to stop the engine as well as switch off the lights and that he should wait for them. They dragged Sharon out of the car. He claimed to have waited for about 30 minutes, and the men returned, obviously without Sharon. He asked them where Sharon was, and they told him that they had dropped her at her home. He was instructed to drive them to Migori. 4th September 2018. Governor Obado's personal assistant was arrested following the kidnapping reports made by journalist Barack Oduo. So far, Sharon's whereabouts remains unknown, but at around 3:30 p.m., Moses Ongili, a local farmer, was walking his cows home from the forest. He stated that the leading cow suddenly stopped and started making noise. Out of curiosity, he walked right ahead to check what was unsettling the animals. There he would find a woman's dead body, undressed, her face on the ground in a pool of thickening blood. The farmer quickly drove his cows home, locked the animals and rushed to Oyugi police station to report the matter. At the crime scene, authorities would discover Sharon's body and beside her, 2 used and 3 unused male condoms, their wrappers and empty cans of beer, blue open shoes, a bra, blood-stained female underwears and pants. Upon processing the crime scene, Sharon and her unborn baby boy were taken to Rachuonyo South Sub-County Hospital morgue. A few hours later, her father identified her body. The news of her death spread quickly, causing an outcry among the people. On the 5th of September 2018, her fellow students at Rongo University took the streets in demand for justice for her cruel killing. They demanded for speedy investigation. On the 7th of September 2018, government pathologist Johansen Oduo conducted an autopsy on her body. It was done at the Oyugi Level 4 hospital in an attempt to determine her cause of death. Reports showed that the victim died out of excess bleeding and strangulation. She suffered 8 fatal stabs, one on the left side that got to her baby boy. Reports further confirmed that Sharon had been brutally, intimately assaulted. Subsequently, Governor Obado was ready to do anything to contain the matter. He would go buying all the newspapers from the local vendors. One of the local vendors would testify and say that there was a group of people believed to have been employed by Governor Obado who would come as early as 6 a.m. in the morning and buy all the papers. However, this step did not stop the police from continuing with their investigation. Between 8th and 9th of September 2018, several men were arrested in connection to the killing of Sharon Otieno. These men were believed to have been operating in the inner circle for Governor Obado. Between 8th and 9th September 2018, several men were arrested and most of them operated in Governor Obado's inner circle. They included Caspal Obiero, Elvis Omondi, Dick Ogalo, and the MCA Lawrence Muller. For Caspal Obiero, he was the clerk at Migori County Assembly and he frequently ran errands for Governor Obado. Elvis Omondi was the governor's bodyguard. Dick Ogalo was the sergeant-at-arms at Migori County Assembly. However, the 3 men who had kidnapped Sharon and Barack Oduo were not arrested. For Honorable Lawrence Muller, he was later cleared of the murder charges and released, but was however to stand as a witness for the prosecution team against Governor Obado. For the other 4 suspects, namely Michael Oyamo, Elvis Omondi, Dick Ogalo, and Caspal Obiero, remained in custody for a period of almost a whole month. Despite the wave created by the news of Sharon's death, Governor Obado remained free until he was arrested on 11th September 2018. He was held at the Kisumu Director of Criminal Investigations headquarters to answer questions over the kidnapping and murder of Sharon Otieno. For a period of 8 hours interrogations, Governor Obado maintained his innocence but admitted to have had a romantic relationship with Sharon. On the 10th of September 2018, Governor Obado held a press conference in Nairobi, clearing his name over Sharon's death. He admitted publicly to have been involved with her romantically, but was not responsible for her death. In the same day, he introduced his family to Kenyan public.
I want to state here very, very clearly and very categorically that I have nothing and absolutely nothing to do with the cruel death of Sharon.
On the 15th of September, Sharon's baby boy was laid to rest at her grandfather's home, Mr. Samuel Odege, by a group of mourners who were heartbroken, who condemned the act of Sharon's killing and demanded for quick investigation and apprehending the culprits responsible for the tragedy. On 20th of September 2018, the authorities released the DNA results conducted, and the report confirmed that Governor Obado's gene and that of the dead baby boy was a 99.99% match, confirming that, indeed, the baby was Governor Obado's. This led to the governor's arrest. On the following day of 21st September 2018, and he was detained at the Migori police station in Nairobi in connection to the killing of Sharon Otieno. On the 24th of September 2018, Governor Obado was presented before the judge at Milimani Law Court facing murder charges. In his stand, he pleaded not guilty, but to his disbelief, he was denied bail until all witnesses' statements were submitted to the court. He was immediately taken to remand in the industrial area prisons, the same facility where the other 4 suspects were being held. On 8th October 2018, as per Justice Jesse Lesit's order, Governor Obado was to appear before the court. While in prison, the governor received special treatment and was not being treated like a regular inmate. He was set at the VIP and dignitaries section. He would receive well-cooked food from outside the prison, had a TV set, and would get regular visitations. The hearing for Governor Obado and his personal assistant Michael Oyamo, which was to be held on 8th October 2018 as ordered by Justice Jesse Lesit, was postponed up to 12th of October 2018 and then later to 18th October 2018. Sharon Otieno was laid to rest besides her baby boy at Migori Village, Homa Bay County, on the 19th of October 2018. The burial had been attended by several politicians as well as human activists. Students from Rongo University would express a disrespectful move after storming the burial, claiming that the presiding pastor was taking too long to bury Sharon. They hijacked the ceremony from Pastor Wilson Wandago of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, took Sharon's casket and proceeded to the gravesite where they buried her. Shocking events caught the nation after Governor Obado was released on the 24th of October 2018 with a cash bail of 5 million Kenyan shillings. He was given orders by Justice Jesse Lesit not to get close to any scenes affiliated with Sharon's murder. For Oyamo and Caspal, 2 of the other 4 suspects, they were completely denied bail, with the judge stating that they posed the possibility of threatening witnesses in an attempt to interfere with evidence. For other 2 suspects, that is Elvis Omondi and Dick Ogalo, their details remained unknown at the time. Maybe they had already been released due to lack of enough evidence. The trial officially began on 12th of July 2018. The 3 suspects, that is Governor Obado, his PA Michael Oyamo, and Caspal Obiero, were charged with murder by Justice Cecilia Githua at the Milimani Law Court. 40 witnesses were presented before the judge, making it one of the most lengthy cases in the history. The detectives would also present their evidence, and according to them, Michael Oyamo was the person who handed over Sharon to her killers. 5 days right before her murder, Michael Oyamo had purchased an Airtel SIM card, which he registered under a fake name as Vincent Oboyo. On the 6th December 2023, Vincent Mabu, the investigators manager at the Airtel Kenya, confirmed that the SIM card acquired by Oyamo using that fake ID had been used to reach out to Sharon on the 28th August 2018. On top of that, cell phone data records also showed that Sharon had called the same number the same day she was to meet with Michael Oyamo at the Grasa Hotel for approximately 17 seconds on the 15th July 2022. More evidence surfaced after Dr. Clifford Momanyi, a clinical officer at the Kisii Teaching and Referral Hospital, testified in court. He testified that on the 4th of September 2018, a day after Sharon's murder, that he received a call from his colleague Dr. Justice Moindi requesting that he assist Oyamo at faking medical documents at a pay. According to the doctor, he went ahead and faked the documents at a pay. They indicated that Michael Oyamo needed referral and a specialized treatment in Kisumu since he had suffered injuries from a beating from unknown attackers. After he faked the documents, his colleague Dr. Justice Moindi sent someone over to come and pick them, and he was paid 1,500 Kenyan shillings. Dr. Momanyi stated that it was on the 5th September 2018 that he noted the mess he had just made. He was in his house watching the TV, and on the breaking news, a lady by the name Sharon Otieno had been announced to have been killed, and Michael Oyamo's name was being mentioned constantly in connection to her death. This exposed Michael Oyamo, who had previously given a wrong statement at Uriri police station. Michael Oyamo, in his statement, had said that he was the one involved with Sharon romantically and that the child she carried was his. He had added that Sharon was demanding from him 600,000 Kenyan shillings for furnishing the house, as well as 240,000 monthly upkeep. He alleged that they had a disagreement and that he had met Sharon at the Grasa Hotel so as to streamline their differences. And when they were leaving the hotel, they were attacked and kidnapped by unknown perpetrators. He had added that after the attack, he woke up at Kisii Teaching and Referral Hospital while undergoing treatment. The doctor's testimony fully contradicted with his previous statement, proving that indeed his medical files had been forged. For Caspal Obiero, the second suspect, the taxi driver Jackson Gombe, on the 27th July 2023, testified that the taxi he was driving belonged to Caspal Odiero's wife, namely Olivia. According to his events, the day that Sharon was murdered, he was to take the car for valuation. He needed the car's logbook, and so he went to see Olivia. Arriving at Caspal's and Olivia's home, he found two cars parked by the gate. One belonged to Michael Oyamo, and the other one to a man identified as Dixon. During these times, the taxi driver maintained that he saw three men, Caspal, Oyamo, and Dixon. He greeted them right before he got the logbook from Olivia and left. Later that day at around 5:45 p.m., he received a call from Elvis, the governor's bodyguard. He instructed the driver to go to Uriri to pick Michael Oyamo. The driver picked Oyamo, but he was accompanied by three other men who were with him at Uriri. Oyamo and the other three men who ended up killing Sharon boarded the taxi, and he was instructed to drive them to Grasa Hotel, where he was to meet Sharon and journalist Barack Odo. Sadly, the three assailants who killed Sharon have never been arrested and are still roaming free. Dear viewer, for Governor Obado, the case is still ongoing. He is meant to learn of his fate on January 30th, 2025. Okoth Obado is no longer governor. He was not voted back to office in 2022. And for Lawrence Muller, he died about 6 months ago from the day of the recording of this video. The former governor and the other 2 suspects will know of their fate sometimes in the beginning of next year. That is on the 30th of January 2025. That is when the next hearing will be held. The governor still stands his ground, claiming that the prosecution team failed to present a strong case against him. However, this being a still ongoing high-profile case in Kenya, I promise that our team will keep you posted. And in the meantime, consider subscribing. Stay safe, and I will see you in the next one.